Joining us now to discuss the changing face of politics in the state of Georgia, State Representative Dr. Jasmine Clark. She is also co-host of the Suburban Women Problem podcast. Always good to see you, Dr. Clark. You know, it strikes me what you just heard Greg saying there, right, about the map and what it is that he's going to be looking for. Talk to us about how that map has changed in recent years.
Well, Greg pretty much set me up for the perfect answer, and that is that the suburbs where I live is changing. It is diversifying. And what we know from the map, from the general election, and what we know from exit polling is that in the suburbs, Warnock is doing very well. And if he continues to perform as well as he did during the general, and as well as Democrats have been doing across the board in the suburbs, then I believe that Warnock will be doing a victory speech on runoff election night.
Then tell me, Representative Clark, what you think it is specifically that is driving those voters to the polls.
Well, right now in Georgia, we have a choice. We have a choice between competency and catastrophe. We have a choice between character and crassness. And we have a choice between a worker and someone who wants to be a werewolf. Like, when you take those things into account, the issues that the people in the suburbs care about, the issues that people in Georgia care about, do not really resonate or are not really resonating with or reconciling with the Walker agenda. His platform just doesn't speak to those voters.
Let me drill down on an issue that ended up being integral to the midterms overall, and that is abortion access. Last month, an NBC exit poll found abortion was the top issue for more than 25% of Georgia voters. You can see it there on your screen. Among those voters, 77% backed Warnock. How has the fight for reproductive freedom changed the political landscape in Georgia? And given that the dynamics of this race are now a little bit different, I wonder how much you think it's top of mind.
I think that the abortion issue is going to remain top of mind. It has not gone away, despite people wishing or willing it to go away. It is still very much what voters care about. And what we do know is that right now, over 50%, about 56% of women were those who came out to vote early, standing in lines, sometimes over 2 hours to cast their vote. So I take this as a sign that this abortion issue has not gone away, and it is driving voters to the polls to make their voices heard.
Representative Clark, you know, I don't need to tell you about what happened in your state on Election Day. Besides Warnock, every other Dem running for statewide office, they lost during the midterms. What do you think the lesson is there then for Democrats in the state?
I think the lesson is that we have to continue to drive voters to the poll, and we have to continue to listen to voters. You know, in this election, we did not get the outcome that we wanted, but that just means that we have more work to do. But I also think it points to the fact that we still have policy that we need to take care of. For example, when it comes to voters not getting their absentee ballots and, you know, super long lines during early voting and things like that, things like what we're seeing now in the runoff, where you only had 5 days of statewide early voting to try to handle the capacity of almost 2 million voters. These are the things that can keep voters from showing up to the polls, and turnout just wasn't what we needed.
Georgia State Representative Dr. Jasmine Clark, thank you so much for your time.